This is Yidhari. Yidhari? Man, pronunciation is always difficult. How do you pronounce her name? Leave it in the comments down below. This is a HP change ice rupture DPS. What do I mean by that? I mean, as Yidhari attacks, she is consuming and regenerating her HP constantly, and it gives her decibels. Additionally, her gameplay looks a lot like Monster Hunter Wild's hammer. Before we talk about the specifics, I want to actually bring up a fun fact. Lucia is not the replacement for Lucia. It's actually Yidhari here. Yidhari. Atari. She uses a lot of the animations from that scrapped Nun character design, and she has the same internal character ID. So Lucia is not the replacement for Lucia. They gave the name to a different character and turned that character into this character. Isn't that fun? This character is technically made out of scrap? Hoyoverse built this in a cave with a box of scraps! Yeah, it's actually really cool. They kind of turned that into a super unique character. Yidhari surprised everyone. This character came completely out of nowhere. Octopus Thyran jump scare. Yeah, she's an octopus Thyran. Really cute thing. The back of her hat is solid purple. So when you look at her from behind, you actually see an octopus, sort of. I wish she used her tentacles more in her animations. It's kind of a shame that she doesn't, but that may get tweaked at any point. What she does do, however, is she charges up her hammer, and as her hammer is charging, she can reduce her HP. Her HP can be reduced down to 30% of her total HP. The lower her HP gets, the more damage reduction she has. And you can release the hammer to do a spin attack. The spin attack can stop at any point by pressing basic or EX, or basic or special. If special is used, this can be a parry during the spin, and that shortcuts to B3. Doing the basic attack also shortcuts to B3 and just the charge slam. She also has an EX special that can be used here. The EX special is just a modified charge slam. So essentially her gameplay looks like holding down basic, releasing basic, clicking basic, and doing some parries. She will also automatically parry hits while she is charging the hammer. So you basically are invincible playing this character. If you die with Yidhari, take a look in the mirror because something is wrong with you. Currently, this character is immortal, 100%. That's just what it is. Anytime she uses her EX special, ultimate, or her B3 hammer finisher, she gets HP restored. This is important for her decibel generation. There is also an etheric tentacle coordinated attack that can happen on B3, EB3, EX, and ultimate. Technically once per attack every 12 seconds. This is just a little bit of bonus damage. It probably should hit a bit harder, and I don't understand why it has a 12-second restriction. It's a bit confusing, so maybe they clean that up a little bit. They probably will. We'll see. But the really unique thing about Yidhari is she generates less decibel than other agents from regular and team actions. She has reduced decibel generation, but instead, she generates decibels from herself and her teammates having their HP reduced or decreased. So when she has HP to consume, she's getting decibels. So healing is effectively decibels, which is really interesting. We're going to talk about that a lot when we're talking about teams, but effectively, if you're able to quickly generate enough HP, you can ult twice in a row. More or less. If you're able, that is if you're able to regenerate and consume enough HP in a short period of time, which you can do, but they may make it more consistent later. Currently, her hammer charge and spin can only consume her own HP. But a really cool idea for a buff, if they wanted to do it, would be after she's drained her own HP to the minimum, let her drain the next character in the team. Let her put everyone in low HP, all right? Let's Farina up in here. It'd be really cool. I understand why it doesn't do that, but like, it'd be cool. Just saying. They could do it. So yeah, as Yidhari is draining her own HP / is low HP, she gains buffs. She gets up to 80 damage bonus for being below 40% HP. And that is scaling, so as she drains her HP, she gets more and more damage bonus up to that 80% max. She also gets 40% crit damage. No, it's 35. It's 35 right now. She gets 35% crit damage for being below 50% HP. These are solid. She is always going to be below 50%, 40% HP anyway. So these buffs are basically free as long as you pay attention and consume HP. I will also mention that she has a unique decibel expenditure mechanic. Much like Yisen, she pockets an ult, but she has to spend decibels to pocket the ultimate. So she can use her ultimate after she consumes 3,000 decibels. She consumes 3,000 decibels automatically whenever she does a hammer swing, if she has that many decibels. So she can basically store ults. There is a slight problem with this in the fact that she can only hold one ult at a time. So if you mismanage this and don't spend the ult before you're ready to generate another ult, you will lose that first ult. That'll probably get fixed. We don't have to worry about that. It's fine. Okay, it's fine. You can ult twice in a row. It's fine. Shush. It's intended. I'm not gonna change it, right? It's fine. Like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna try to do more Zenless content. More Genshin content is coming. Did you know most of you watching are not currently subscribed? You should subscribe. But yeah, I talked about engines. I actually have a rough engine comparison here. She has an S-Rank engine. The S-Rank engine gives her 20% crit rate when she's below 50% HP. It is an HP main stat, and it gives 24 ice shear %. The next best engine option is going to be the Qingbing Bird Cage, followed by any S-Rank crit engine. And then the best free-to-play engine is technically Monato's currently. I don't know if that will stick, but it's a good consolation prize if you do pull on the S-Rank engine and you don't get it. And Monato's engine will be entering the standard pull in version 2.4, technically. But generally speaking, you're going to use the S-Rank engine, Qingbing Birdcage, or any crit rate main stat. Regarding drive discs, there is technically an issue. This character wishes she could use the seed set, but she can't because it requires an attack agent. So I guess her best set is Yunqui Tails, and you just deal with all the downtime on the buff. It's really confusing that they made a basic attack DPS who can't use the new basic attack set. I feel like that's pretty short-sighted of them to have a limitation on the basic attack set. I don't quite get it. But yeah, I guess you're using Yunqui Tails. I don't even know. Bruh. Take a bet. Pick one. I guess it's fine. Weird. Maybe she'll get a set in 2.4 with Evelyn? So, this is the part where I unload my copium. I've got some copium for you, all right? I'm hooking you up to the supply. Stay with me. Hear me out. Yes, any Bangboo is fine for days and anomaly app, but because Yidhari generates decibels from consuming HP, a Bangboo that heals you is more HP, which is more decibels. So what if healing Bangboos are actually good? Coincidentally, there is Ms. Esme, the Bangboo that released with Alice and Yuzuha for the Spook Shack faction. So we thought this was for Alice and Yuzuha, and we were really confused why Ms. Esme was so bad. But Lucia and Yidhari are both Spook Shack agents, so they fulfill that conditional. And Ms. Esme is technically the best healer Bangboo. Was this intended? Is this the intended choice? Are we supposed to use Ms. Esme? Is this cope? Yes. But what if? I don't know. All right, look, I'm not crazy. Hear me out, okay? Listen. What if Ms. Esme, the healing Bangboo that does no days and no damage, is useful? What if, okay? Look, speaking of, let's talk about some teammate options. I have some questionable recommendations here. I have some super questionable recommendations here. But let's start out with the ones that are guaranteed to be good. Okay? This is Lucia. Everyone say hi to Lucia. You're going to see her a lot. She's a goat because she is the goat. Watch the Lucia video. This character is really, really, really good. Now, it's especially relevant because we need to talk about how Lucia and Yidhari interact. Yidhari is dependent on the ether veil being up to consume more of her HP and to recover more of her HP to generate more decibels. Lucia is literally a mandatory character with Yidhari. Otherwise, she's not generating as many decibels, and she's not doing as much damage. Unlike Yi-Sen, where Lucia is a simple damage increase, Lucia is seemingly a mandatory teammate for Yidhari right now. Maybe they give this character the Seed Orphe tweaks, where they're less dependent on the other, or where to make Yidhari less dependent on Lucia. But right now, this octopus is bottoming for Lucia. It's a way to put it to not get demonetized, right? She is horrible. Now, a bit more up in the air is the third slot in this team. So we're going to go through the options. Obvious options are Jufufu, Astra, and Penyin-Hu. So touching on Jufufu, Jufufu is a stun agent who gives crit damage and some ultimate damage bonus, some chain attack damage bonus. The primary thing she does is she refunds 600 decibels per ult. 600 decibels, she does get the full value of that 600 decibel, which makes doing a second ult significantly easier. Essentially, Jufufu acts like having a teammate consume HP. It's a bit confusing, but Jufufu works instead of more healing / more HP drain, and may very likely be the best third. We'll see. The other contenders are Astra and Penyin-Hu. You know Astra, she's got good vibes. She sings, she raises everyone's spirit. Her ult technically heals the party, but like, she does it barely ever. It still counts. We give it to her, it still counts. But yeah, Astra technically does heal, which means more decibels. We also get to talk about Penyin-Hu, which is very similar to Astra. He buffs rupture agents. He's a solid A rank. He does heal on his ult, but he will barely ever ult, much like Astra. Penyin-Hu does less days than Astra somehow. Astra is a character with famously bad days, and Penyin-Hu is worse. Which is like a bruh moment, but all right, bet. Very alright. Yeah. Penyin-Hu, super solid option. Technically, because sheer buffs, you'd rather have more damage bonus, which is why Astra, and more crit damage, which is why Astra is good, whatever. I think Astra is technically better than Penyin-Hu here, but whatever, who's really keeping track? The budget options are going to be Lycon, Sokaku, or Pulchra. Simple, right? You guys know what's up with these characters and how they work. Let's talk about the more interesting things. I want to talk about a second rupture agent. No, not that one. We're talking about Yi-Sen. So Yi-Sen has the mechanic, whenever she uses an ultimate attack, she redistributes teammate HP to be equal. So she equalizes all teammate HP. This is technically draining HP, which directly equals decibels for Yidhari. Is it super cope? Yeah, but there's a chance that this might be the best Yidhari team. I really doubt it, but I wanted to mention it because it seems interesting. It seems really interesting to play Lucia, Issa, and Yidhari. There is also Kamano Minato, the A-rank rupture character who will be on one of the banners next update, presumably Lucia's. He drains his own HP. He does a lot of damage on defensive assist follow-up, so he can generate decibels for Yidhari. He gives very small buffs, but they are technically buffs. He can hold Protopunk. Maybe don't use him unless you have to, but he might be okay, right? he's an A-rank. He could be a really solid cope option. Subject to change, TBD, we will see. I will keep you updated. But I would not expect Kamano Minato to be a best in slot character here. I'll mention that. I'll also mention why there's no lighter here. Ether Veil is an incredibly important mechanic for Yidhari to heal. Using lighter means you cannot use Lucia, which is bad. Lucia literally buffs Yidhari more than lighter would buff Yidhari, so there's no reason to use lighter unless you literally can't or you don't own. But even if you didn't own Lucia, you may not really have some room for lighter anyway because of lighter's additional being a bit strict. Is it time to remove the restriction on lighter's additional ability? I think it is. I think he could get away with it. He wouldn't be very broken. I think they could absolutely do it. Just gonna say it. I think they could do it. Take off his chains. Let him out. Touching on Yidhari's current performance is almost completely irrelevant because we get to talk about the new enemies coming in version 2.3. They are making a new DA boss and a new elite enemy. They are going to be present in the endgame activities. The new enemies debuting have an additional 60% base defense than normal. Oops. They did the thing that I warned that they might do, and I was almost convinced that they weren't going to do it, but they did it. It happened. These new enemies have increased anomaly buildup requirement and increased defense, and they cannot be frozen. Even the Ice Week one cannot be frozen. So it's possible that they've balanced Yidhari to be equal to Miyabi in this shill environment that debuffs Miyabi, which is why Yidhari is currently undertuned in regular content. Is that insane, Copium? Yeah, but stranger things have happened. She seems undertuned. She probably doesn't do the damage she should do. So I have to question what's going on. There's also the possibility that she's just currently undertuned. This happens commonly in beta, where characters won't be in their final state, so she could very easily just turn around and go bloop, 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 stonks. It's normal. You don't need to be worried about Yidhari. If you are worried, don't be. I will sound the alarm if you need to be worried. You can trust me. But right now, she's fine. She's a little underpowered, but she'll presumably get the love and the buffs that she needs, and it won't be an issue. She also has generous content pushing towards her. It'll be fine. Additionally, this character is literally invincible. You cannot die unless you really, really try hard to die. So I don't know if that's part of the balance equation. Not sure. We'll have to see. But yeah, that is Yidhari. It's an interesting kit that I kind of want to mess with. I'm really interested in how easy or difficult it is to do the double ult stuff, but I know it's possible. I know that it works. We're just gonna have to keep messing with it. And those are my thoughts.